Alright guys, I'm going to pick up where I just left off with the last video where I was talking about variables. These are primitive variables, primitive data type variables here, okay? So I'm going to show you a few things that you can do with these variables here, alright? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back up to where we have our integers and I'm going to do some integer math, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We are going to say, I want to increase score by 1. Okay, so the way that I do that is I say score is set to score plus 1. Okay, so this is saying add 1 to score and then store it back into the variable score. Okay, it's very important that you understand that the right hand side of the equation here is happening first, and then it's storing the results back into this variable called score. Okay, so on this side it's saying take what score was previously, add 1 to it, which was 5. Okay, it was previously 5 up here, add 1 to it, which becomes 6. So score is now 6. Okay, so if I just want to print out score, so let me say print score. So if I say print score and I run this here, it opens up my canvas, the default, remember 100 by 100 because I'm not drawing anything. But what it did is it printed out a 6 down here in the console area. You guys see that? So the 6 is down here. Let's say I can even do it inside this print. Let's say I want to print score plus 1. Okay. Then what does it do? It prints out a 7. Why? Because score is 6 at this point. 6 plus 1 is 7. So it's printing out the number 7. Okay. You can do many more things with score. Let's say you wanted to subtract 2 or something. So take score minus 2. Okay, so we're going to take score, whatever it was previously, which is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. So score is 3 after this line runs right here. And then we're going to take 3 and we're going to add it to 1 and we're going to print that out. So it should print out 4 for us, okay? And there's the 4 down there at the bottom. So it's working properly and everything's good, okay? Then you can also, you can add, you can subtract, you can multiply, and you can divide, okay? So here we're multiplying by 2. So this is going to give us 10 plus 1 should print out 11, okay? There it is, down 11 down at the bottom right here. Okay, so now we can also divide. Let's say divide. So we're going to take 5. We're going to divide it by 2, and then I just want to print it out at this point. Okay, so 5 and divided by 2. What is the answer going to be? Well, it should be 2.5, right? But in computer science, it's only 2. Why? Because this is called integer division. Okay. So whenever you have this division operator here, and you have 2 things on either side of it, if those 2 things are integers or ints, it is going to divide them and it's going to return you an int. It is not going to change it into a float or a decimal number. Okay. So what is happening is it's dividing it by 2. And it's saying, how many times does 5 go in? Does 2 go in at 5 evenly? Well, it goes in twice, right? And then 2 times 2 is 4. So you subtract 5 minus 4, and that's a remainder of 1. So you have a remainder of 1 in this case, okay? But the remainder is not worried about. What was the number at the top of that long division problem? The number at the top is the 2. We're worried about the number before the decimal point, okay? So the number before, instead of the 2.5, the 0.5 just drops away and it's gone, okay? Because we're using an int variable. So it's going to be the number 2. That's integer division, okay? And then if I print score, it's going to print out the number 2 down here. You see that? So let me try another number, okay? Let's say I'm going to reset score to something else. Let me say 23. I'm going to say 23 divided by 2, okay? So here in this first line, integer score set to 5. And then we got score set to 23 divided by 2. So it's no longer 5. It's actually 23 divided by 2. Now 23 divided by 2 should be 11.5. But since it's an integer on this side of the operand and an integer on this side of the operator, I'm sorry, this is the operator, these are the operands. So both of them are integers, so it's going to return you an integer, and it should be the number 11. There it is down at the bottom right there. Okay, so that's very important that you understand. This will become very, very tricky here in the near future. Okay, you need to know that this division type problem is going to return a integer. Okay, it's always going to return an integer, it's never going to return. So let's say let's do another one. Okay, so we got 23 divided by 3. How many times is 3 going to 23? Well, 7 times 3 is 21, 8 times 3 is 24, so it's going to go only 7 times. See that? 7 down at the bottom. Okay, so there you go. So that's integer division. You really need to know about that. Now, since computer programming is all about ease of use, being user friendly. So here I'm going to show you something else. There is a shortcut way to do those mathematical operations. Okay, so the way that you do that is you put whatever operation you want to do joined to the equal sign, and then whatever number you want to add to it on the other side. So this is essentially the same as this. Score equals score plus 2. So it's essentially the same thing. It's just a shortcut way of doing it. Okay, so it's the same thing. So we got 5 plus 2 is 7. So it's going to print out score. So it's print out 7. Okay, same thing right there. Okay, so then let's say then I'm going to take score and I'm going to subtract how about 15. Okay, subtract 15. If I subtract 15 from score and I run this right here, this should give us -8, right? Bam, -8 right down there at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to change it again some more. So I'm going to take score. Look at those shortcuts there. I'm going to multiply -8 by 10. Okay, so I'm going to multiply -8 by 10. What is that going to be? Of course, it's going to be -80. See, -80 down there at the bottom. Then I'm going to take score and I am going to divide it by -8. So it's going to give me divided equal -8. Oops. So there, and then it should give me my number 10 that I want right here down at the bottom. Okay, so those are the shortcuts. You don't have to put score equals score plus 2 like this on this side. You just put score plus equal 2, score minus equal 15, multiply, divide. Okay. All right, so there are some other operators that you guys need to know. The next one is called the modulus. Okay, very important. You guys need to get used to modulus. You guys need to get used to seeing this modulus. It is used throughout computer science and cryptography and cyber attacks and cyber warfare, hacking, things like that. So the modulus, okay? This is how we do it. I'm going to take score, which is 10. Remember, score is 10. And then I'm going to mod it by a number 2, okay? So I'm going to mod it, which is the parenthesis sign, shift, and the number 5, okay? I'm going to mod it by 2. So this is what I'm going to do. Take score and I'm going to mod it by 2. So score was 10. When I mod it by 2, that is dividing two numbers and giving me the remainder. That's what modulus means, the modulus operation. Okay, you're dividing two numbers and getting the remainder, only the remainder. Okay, so here we're going to take 10. We're going to mod it by 2. So we divide 10 by 2, which is obviously 5. What is the remainder of that? Well, the remainder is 0. Okay, so 0 is what gets printed out. Okay, the remainder is 0. Okay, because 2 goes evenly into 10. So let's say we're going to mod it by 3. 10 modded by 3. Okay, we're going to divide the two numbers and take the remainder. Well, the closest 3 can get to 10 is 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. And you got a remainder of 1, so it should print out a remainder of 1. There it is. The 1 right there, it prints out just like I said. So it's printing out a remainder of 1. So it is doing the Modulus, okay? This is the mod operation. And sometimes you'll see it like this as well. In pseudocode, sometimes it's going to say score mod 10 or something like that, you know? Mod, M-O-D, you'll see it like that. You can also do the shortcut way. Score mod equal 3 there, okay? So that's the shortcut way as well. You can do that too. Modulus, very important. You need to get used to doing that. You're dividing two numbers and it returns the remainder, okay? So with these float variables, you can do the same thing. Let's say GPA plus equal 0.25. That's about how much you're going to get on your GPA. Taxes, though, will go up quite substantially. Let's add 1.5 to the tax, okay? So then we want to print it out. So print, what are we printing? We're printing GPA and the tax, right? So same thing, just print out GPA and tax. So it's first going to print out score, then it's going to print out GPA and tax. Score. They're all on the same line, so GPA is going to be, okay, so the score is 1, GPA is 3.77, and tax is 9.75. Okay, so that's kind of how you do that there. You can also add to chars. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So here's what we're going to do. Char letter letter plus equal 2. Okay, so we're going to add 2 to letter. Maybe that plus and equal has to be joined together, and then I just want to print out what letter is. Okay, since letter is a char, it's going to increase it by 2. So the first score is 1, GPA is 3.77, tax is 9.75, which is 8.25 plus 1.5, and then the letters V, T, U, V, because we went 2 from T to U to V is 2 jumps, okay? So these letters and characters and stuff, they go by the ASCII table, okay? You got to get used to using the ASCII table, knowing the numbers for these letters, okay? There are 3 very, very important ones, okay? The first one is the number 0 on the keyboard is actually the number 48 in ASCII. Then you got the capital letter A is the number 65 in ASCII, okay? And then the lowercase letter a is the number 97 in ASCII. So if you know these 3, then you can get whichever one you want, okay? I mean, you can figure out whichever one you want. So, you know, A is 65, B is 66, C is 67, D is 68, and so on. Lowercase a is 97, lowercase b is 98, lowercase c 99, lowercase d 100, and so on. 0 is 48, 1 is 49, 2 is 50, 3 is 51, and so on, okay? So you can add characters as well, all right? So that's the end of our math video there. One other thing I wanted to show you, if you wanted to go down to the next line, you can print a line so we can see all of those doggone numbers and stuff on a separate line. So here I'm going to put print line is LN, okay, print LN. That means print and then go down to the next line. So my output is going to be 1, 3.77, 9.75, and V at the end. Okay, so print line, it prints it nice and neat, line by line. Okay, prints it all on the same line. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.